Hello, Queens. In a world often driven by conformity and the pursuit of leadership, Sigma females emerge as compelling examples of autonomy and resilience. These individuals embody a rare blend of independence, intellect, and quiet strength, navigating life's complexities with a steadfast commitment to their own principles and aspirations. Unlike their alpha or beta counterparts who seek dominance or social validation, Sigma females chart their own course with grace and determination. This distinctive approach not only defines their personal journey, but also equips them with unique strategies to gracefully defy attempts to control them. Through a nuanced understanding of social dynamics and a strategic mindset, Sigma females exemplify how inner strength and unwavering self-assurance can thwart external influences while preserving their individuality. This exploration delves into 8 surprising reactions of Sigma females when faced with control, showcasing their exceptional ability to uphold their autonomy and integrity in a world that often seeks to mold and constrain. Number 1. The black hole method. When Sigma females encounter attempts to control them, they employ what can be called the black hole method. This approach is subtle, yet powerful, designed to absorb and nullify the controlling behavior without giving anything back. Imagine a black hole in space, which consumes everything that comes near it, but reveals nothing about what's inside. This is precisely how Sigma females handle control attempts. When someone tries to dictate their actions or manipulate them, Sigma females do not react in the expected manner. They don't argue, fight back, or visibly resist. Instead, they absorb the attempts quietly and effectively. They offer no feedback, no visible emotional response, and no outward sign of distress or resistance. To the person trying to control them, it feels like their efforts are being swallowed into a void. This method is disarming for the controller because it provides no foothold, no leverage, and no reaction to exploit. The controlling individual is left with a sense of frustration and helplessness, as their usual tactics produce no visible effect. Over time, this lack of response can cause the controller to lose interest or give up, as they receive no validation or evidence that their attempts are having any impact. The genius of the black hole method lies in its simplicity and effectiveness. By giving nothing back, no confrontation, no compliance, no emotional reaction, just pure ghosting and disappearing on your sorry ass, Sigma females protect their autonomy and maintain their inner peace. This strategy ensures they remain unaffected by external attempts to control, retaining their independence and self-assurance. Number 2. False compliance and passive resistance. Queens. When the Sigma gems encounter attempts to control them, they often resort to a clever tactic known as false compliance and passive resistance. This method is both subtle and sophisticated, allowing them to navigate controlling behaviors without direct confrontation. Imagine a scenario where someone tries to dictate a Sigma female's actions or decisions. Instead of outright rebutting or engaging in a power struggle, she might appear to agree and go along with the demands. She nods, smiles, and gives every indication that she's complying. To the person trying to control her, it seems like they've succeeded. However, beneath this veneer of compliance, a different story unfolds. The Sigma female's compliance is only surface deep. While she might follow the letter of the instructions given, she does so in the least effective or most minimal way possible. For example, if she's asked to complete a task, she'll do it just well enough to say she's done it, but not in a way that truly satisfies the controller's intentions. This passive resistance means she fulfills their basic requirement without truly giving in to the spirit of the command. This tactic serves multiple purposes. First, it avoids direct conflict, which can be draining and counterproductive. Second, it subtly undermines the controller's efforts without open defiance, making it harder for them to accuse her of disobedience. The beauty of false compliance and passive resistance is that it keeps the Sigma female's true intentions and independence intact, while the person trying to control her is left with an ineffective result and often increasing frustration. Hello, miladies. Loving this content so far? Join us to discover the world of Sigma females with us, where independence meets inspiration. Subscribe and hit the bell to join our community of trailblazers. Don't forget to share the empowerment with friends and family. Number 3. Subtle sabotage. Sigma females have a knack for subtle sabotage that's both ingenious and surprisingly effective, like a masterclass in covert operations but without the spy gadgets. Picture this. When faced with someone trying to control them, Sigma females don't throw tantrums or start arguments. Oh no, that's too obvious. Instead, they subtly tweak the situation just enough to throw a wrench in the gears. Imagine a scenario where a colleague or friend tries to micromanage every detail of their project or social plans. Instead of outright resistance, the Sigma female might agree with a smile, while quietly making adjustments that ensure things unfold differently than expected. It's like playing chess, where every move leads to a surprise ending they've orchestrated all along. They're masters of the art of selective information sharing. They know exactly what to reveal and what to keep close to the vest, ensuring that those who try to control them are always a step behind. It's like feeding breadcrumbs to a hungry duck, just enough to keep them interested, but never the whole loaf. And let's not forget the strategic use of ambiguity. When faced with demands they don't agree with, Sigma females are masters of the non-committal response. It's the verbal equivalent of a well-timed eyebrow raise or a shrug that says, "Maybe I will, maybe I won't." This leaves the controller scratching their head, unsure if they've won or lost the round. But perhaps the most brilliant part of Sigma females' subtle sabotage is their ability to foster alliances under the radar. They quietly build networks of support among others who also value independence, creating a web of solidarity that makes it even harder for controllers to gain traction. It's like forming a secret society, but instead of overthrowing governments, they're just making sure no one tells them what to do on a Friday night. In essence, Sigma females' approach to subtle sabotage is both strategic and sly, like a ninja in business casual. It's not just about defying control, it's about doing it with finesse as the badass they are, leaving everyone else wondering how they manage to stay one step ahead without breaking a sweat. Number 4. Nonverbal intimidation. Sigma females possess a unique and powerful ability to communicate their strength and resolve without uttering a single word. This skill, known as nonverbal intimidation, can be incredibly effective in deterring attempts to control them. Imagine a scenario where someone tries to dominate or manipulate a Sigma female. Instead of engaging in a verbal confrontation, she uses her body language to send a clear message. She is not to be trifled with. This might involve maintaining steady eye contact, standing tall with a confident posture, or using deliberate, controlled movements. These nonverbal cues can be more intimidating than any spoken words, projecting an aura of unshakable self-assurance and determination. For instance, when a colleague tries to undermine her in a meeting, the Sigma female doesn't need to interrupt or argue. A calm, unwavering gaze and a slight knowing smile can convey that she sees through the attempt and remains unfazed. This nonverbal response can throw the would-be controller off balance, making them second-guess their actions and reconsider their approach. Nonverbal intimidation also involves mastering the art of silence. When someone tries to pressure her into making a decision or agreeing to something, the Sigma female might simply remain silent, allowing the uncomfortable pause to speak volumes. This silence can be incredibly powerful, forcing the other person to fill the gap and often revealing their own insecurities or uncertainties in the process. Number 5. Strategic life positioning. Sigma females excel at strategically positioning themselves in life to maximize their independence and minimize the chances of being controlled. This involves making deliberate choices about their careers, relationships, and environments, ensuring they retain as much autonomy as possible. In their professional lives, Sigma females often seek roles that offer flexibility and autonomy. They might choose careers where they can work independently, like freelancing, consulting, or entrepreneurial ventures. Even within traditional workplaces, they navigate their way to positions that grant them a significant degree of control over their tasks and schedules. By positioning themselves in roles where they are judged by their results, rather than constant oversight, They create a professional life where attempts at micromanagement or control are naturally limited. In their personal lives, Sigma females are just as strategic. They carefully choose friends and partners who respect their need for independence and understand their boundaries. Instead of surrounding themselves with people who might try to dominate or control them, they build a network of relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. This selective approach ensures that their personal space remains a sanctuary of autonomy and support. Moreover, Sigma females are adept at creating physical and mental environments that foster their independence. They might choose to live in places that offer privacy and peace, or they might design their homes in ways that reflect their need for personal space and tranquility. Mentally, they cultivate habits and routines that reinforce their self-reliance and resilience, such as regular self-reflection, continuous learning, and personal growth practices. Number 6. They don't let guilt control them. Media. Woman practicing yoga in a peaceful garden, surrounded by greenery and tranquility, embodying self-care and mindfulness. Media. 1. One of the most remarkable traits of Sigma females is their ability to remain impervious to guilt trips and emotional manipulation. This resilience ensures that they stay true to their values and decisions, regardless of external pressures. When someone tries to make a Sigma female feel guilty to control her actions, she doesn't succumb to these tactics. She has a strong sense of self-worth and a clear understanding of her own boundaries and priorities. This inner clarity acts as a shield against guilt-based manipulation. For example, if a friend tries to guilt her into doing something she's uncomfortable with by saying, "If you were a real friend, you'd do this for me," she recognizes the emotional manipulation at play. Instead of caving in, she calmly but firmly reiterates her boundaries, saying something like, "I value our friendship, but I also need to take care of myself." This strength comes from a deep-seated conviction that she is responsible for her own happiness and well-being. Sigma females are not swayed by societal expectations or the opinions of others when it comes to making decisions that affect their lives. They trust their own judgment and are confident in their ability to make choices that align with their values and goals. This self-assurance makes it difficult for others to guilt them into actions that do not serve their best interests. Furthermore, Sigma females have a pragmatic approach to relationships. They understand that true connections are built on mutual respect and understanding, not on coercion or guilt. If someone constantly tries to manipulate them through guilt, they recognize it as a red flag. Rather than allowing themselves to be controlled, they might distance themselves from such relationships, seeking out connections that are supportive and healthy. Their ability to resist guilt also stems from their strong emotional intelligence. Sigma females are highly attuned to their own emotions and the emotions of others, allowing them to navigate complex social dynamics with ease. This awareness helps them identify when someone is attempting to use guilt as a tool for control. Instead of reacting emotionally, they maintain their composure and address the situation with logic and clarity. Number 7. Early on boundary setting. Sigma females are masters at setting boundaries early in any interaction or relationship. This proactive approach ensures that attempts to control them are met with clear, unambiguous resistance right from the start. When a Sigma female enters a new environment, be it a job, a friendship, or a romantic relationship, she quickly establishes what is acceptable and what is not. She communicates her limits confidently and directly, leaving no room for misunderstanding. For example, if a colleague tries to offload extra work onto her, she might calmly but firmly explain that she already has a full plate and cannot take on more responsibilities. If a friend or partner tries to impose their opinions or decisions on her, she'll make it clear that while she values their input, her choices are her own. This early boundary setting serves several key purposes. First, it sets the tone for all future interactions. By establishing her limits from the beginning, the Sigma female ensures that others know where she stands and what behaviors she will not tolerate. This preemptive clarity can prevent many control attempts from even arising. Second, it demonstrates self-respect and confidence. When a Sigma female asserts her boundaries early, She shows that she values her autonomy and well-being. This self-assuredness often commands respect from others, making them less likely to attempt to control her in the first place. Moreover, early boundary setting acts as a filter. Those who are likely to respect her boundaries will continue to engage with her, while those who are intent on controlling or manipulating will either back off or reveal their true intentions quickly. This allows the Sigma female to build relationships and environments that are supportive and respectful of her independence. Number 8. Long-term perspective. One of the defining traits of Sigma females is their ability to maintain a long-term perspective, especially when faced with attempts to control them. This strategic outlook allows them to navigate control dynamics with patience and foresight, ensuring they come out on top in the long run. When someone tries to control a Sigma female, her immediate response isn't to react impulsively or confrontationally. Instead, she takes a step back and assesses the situation with a big-picture mindset. She considers how the current actions and dynamics might play out over time, thinking several steps ahead. This long-term perspective helps her understand the motivations behind the control attempt and how best to counter it without compromising her own goals and values. For instance, in a work setting, if a colleague or boss tries to micromanage her, the Sigma female doesn't immediately push back or create conflict. She evaluates how this behavior could affect her career trajectory, the work environment, and her own stress levels. She then strategically decides whether to subtly redirect the controlling behavior, document it for future reference, or find ways to make herself less dependent on that person's approval or resources. In personal relationships, this long-term thinking means she's not swayed by short-term emotional pressures. If a partner or friend tries to exert control, she calmly analyzes the situation, considering the future health and balance of the relationship. She's willing to have difficult conversations or even make tough decisions about ending the relationship if it becomes clear that control dynamics will persist and undermine her independence. This approach also allows Sigma females to choose their battles wisely. By focusing on the long-term impact rather than immediate gratification, they conserve their energy for the most important issues. They know that not every attempt at control needs to be met with resistance. Sometimes it's more strategic to let minor things slide while preparing for more significant moves that preserve their autonomy. Thank you so much for watching, Queens. See you at our next one. Bye for now, and God bless.